just need to walk in with your eyes open, your feet grounded, and a backbone that says, I'll handle what comes. Because if you're still here, if you're still with me, if you have the ability to listen to this, to watch this, to take this in any way, shape, or form, congrats. You've won. You've won every single battle you've faced in 2025, 24, 23, 22, 21. You are, for all intents and purposes, undefeated. You're still here. You took everything that life has had to throw at you, and you're still standing here to show your scars. And that's fucking awesome. For whatever 2025 threw at you, the fact that you're still here to make it happen in 2026. You're still here to build something. Welcome to DFW Grit. I'm Dr. James Taylor, and I'm your host, and this is more than just a podcast. We dive into the stories of the movers, the shakers, the small business owners, the entrepreneurs, right here in the DFW Metroplex. This is your home for authentic, real stories that prove what happens when you don't back down. Let's get to work. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of DFW Grit. As always, I'm your host, Dr. James Taylor. So let's get into it. This is we'll call it an end of the year, a year in review, if you will. And personally, like if I've got anything, any unfinished business in 2025, I think it can be summed up with one question: what the fuck was that? Right? Like it's interesting because I am fully aware and understanding of the fact that your view of the world and your view of the world and my view of the world and the view that we take in independently, if you will, is incredibly filtered through basically the algorithm, the matrix, your general outlook on life, if you will. But this year I made a realization. Maybe not really. I noticed something. I noticed something within the past couple of weeks as the end of the year approaches. And the thing that I noticed was I don't see a whole lot of people that are trumpeting the absolute delight that was the year of our Lord 2025. And I mean, in the entrepreneurial space, in the self-development space, in the hell, I'm just trying to do better than I did before space, if you will. Normally at the end of the year, like these things come up. These things are, hey, 2025 was awesome. I can't wait to see what 2026 holds. Yeah, even that right there. I can't wait to see what 2026 holds. And it's always said with with an undertone of enthusiasm, a lack of skepticism. But man, I haven't seen a whole lot of that so far this year. As the end of the year approaches. I mean, every December, my feed is typically full of this kind of stuff, best year ever. But this year, man, it seems quieter. It seems like there's a lot more silence, a lot more half smiles, if you will, not a whole lot of real celebration. I mean, it feels like a lot of people got beat up by 2025, and in a whole lot of respects, shoot, I'm right there with you. And it's not like people are looking forward to 2026 per se. It looks like they're almost bracing for it. And this is just an observation. Because again, like I said, I fully understand my feed is different than yours. My algorithm is different than yours. I mean, shoot, if you're one of the people that I shoot memes and reels to, you're probably acutely aware that my algorithm is slightly different. So why did 2025 feel so heavy on people? Again, just going back to to your feed, my feed anyway. I saw something a couple weeks ago that blew my mind. And this is not a political statement, but do you realize at the time of this recording, President Trump just took office this year? Again, I don't care if you're left, right, this, this, that, or the other, but that was just 11 months ago. It feels like an absolute lifetime ago. So why was 2025 so heavy for people? I mean, there's certainly economic anxiety, the cost of eggs, God damn it. Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm not championing the cost of eggs. I'm just saying, it seems like a lot more people, I mean, hell, and I've done podcasts on this, had a lot more strain on relationships. Again, this applies to me. Identity fatigue, right? Like, just everyone played more roles this year, it seemed like, than what they're used to. And fewer of them seem to be rewarding. Information overload. I mean, just again, talking about the feed and everything like that, every year gets louder, but people's internal batteries aren't recharging. Social comparison pressure, quiet quitting, but also quiet collapsing. Man, like, just it seems like there's been a lot more of that. And like, personally, like, I didn't have a bad year per se. I had bad moments. I had moments where I struggled. I mean, but you guys are listeners, like, oh, so did I. Like, we all do. But it just seems like this year, both for me and what I'm seeing out there, it just seems like this year took a lot more out of people than usual. And I'm not sure why. I'm not here to find the reason why, but it just, again, just an observation. So that leads us into the next year, into 2026. And everyone is, I'm assuming, hoping it'll get easier. Because if you are on that side of the fence, on that side of the aisle of, yeah, 2025 absolutely whooped my ass. I hope 2026 is easier. There's a danger in waiting for life to get easier. Like, it won't. If life has taught me anything, it's that it won't get easier, right? So most people are waiting for circumstances to calm down before they move. Maybe I'll wait till 2026. New I saw something the other day like, how about instead of 2026, you give me a used but reliable 2016. Like, I'll take that all day long. But again, life isn't going to get more predictable. So what's our other option? I mean, we have to get more reliable. We have to get stronger. Next year will be better is not a strategy. I'm going to tell you that right now. You don't get to skip the hard parts. If you want to have a good year, you have to build it. And so it is my intent, as it is with every year, maybe this year with a little bit more of a chip on my shoulder, to build in 2026 what 2025 didn't let me for whatever reason. And that's not to blame 2025, because I lived the year that I lived. So it wasn't the year's fault, but it was the man that was in that year. Even when the storm clouds don't clear, if I can get poetic about this for a moment, because like I said, it's not going to get easier. It just won't. So we can either be fearful going into it, we can be apprehensive going into it, or we can take the hardships of 2025, take the lessons, and not to, it sounds incredibly cliche. Let's take the lessons that it taught us. But for real, let's take the lessons that it taught us and bring those into 2026, because that will allow us to be ready if those storm clouds don't clear. And I mean, shoot, if we anticipate it, that they're not going to clear, cool. It's like, so I am what they call an elder millennial, if you will. I was born in 83, right in that smack dab sweet spot between Gen X and a true millennial. And there was a guy, comedian, his name was Christopher Titus, and he talked about the absolute shit show that was his family and his upbringing. And he goes, but what you need people like me in your life, so him speaking of himself. So that way, when the shit hits the proverbial fan, we know to step to the side of the fan. Because that could very well happen in 2026. I mean, going into it, you can't be hesitant. You got to go into it being strong. You got to go into it, again, taking the lumps that 2025 gave you into the new year. You can't go in there with fear. You can't go in there with avoidance or paralysis or, God forbid, hoping for a rescue, because a rescue is going to lie outside of your control. Don't hope for someone else to come save you. Don't blame the circumstances of 2025. Take 2025 with you into 2026. You got to be ready. You got to be aware. You got to be intentional. And we've done a couple episodes about this recently. You got to be intentional about your boundaries, intentional about your discipline. There's a quote that I've said on more than one occasion through this. And I took it from Tony Robbins. I don't negotiate with myself. And that falls back on discipline. And I'll tell you what, and in true honesty and full transparency, I've negotiated with myself over the past month. So I have to get back to that. I don't negotiate with myself. I set these boundaries, I set these rules, I set these standards, and I have to abide by them because I'm the one who set them. It's not that people are scared of 2026. They're just realizing that drifting won't cut it anymore. Going with the flow won't cut it anymore. You have to make the flow. You have to make the decision and you have to be responsible for yourself. Because, I mean, in all reality, that's all you got. You got control over nothing else in this entire world except for the stuff that goes right on between these two things here. These two things being the ears. So, what do you do when you're tired at the end of the year? But you have the stark, heavy realization that you're still responsible for it. This is where you got to bring it home into 2026. 2025 tested your leadership skills, he said into the mirror. 2025 tested your relationships, your boundaries, hell, your pace. Because I'll tell you what, I felt like a good chunk of 2025, I was running in mud. I was running in quicksand. I was running and was moving physically, but I wasn't gaining a whole lot of distance. But also at the same time, this is more coming from an entrepreneurial space. Hell, even potentially a husband space or a man space. Like, I can't quit. People depend on me. Talked about that's one of the heavy things that I carry as a business owner is like I've got employees that require paychecks. They've got stuff to take care of, and they depend on me to provide them an opportunity to be able to do that. I mean, there's something honorable about showing up even when the optimism isn't flowing. Sometimes you got to paste on that smile. But again, if you paste it on enough, it'll just start to become the norm. It'll start to become the thing. But that doesn't mean that you should be ignoring the reason that it's pasted on, right? So, like I said, it tested me a lot. It tested my leadership, my relationships. It tested my ability to persevere. So, what can you do going into 2026 when it feels so incredibly uncertain, given our most recent history? Number one, I mean, again, we've hit on this a bunch lately, and I don't think it's by coincidence, is tightening your boundaries. Tighten your boundaries with other people, but also tighten your boundaries with yourself. Tighten your boundaries with what you will tolerate of yourself. And that doesn't mean isolate. It absolutely doesn't. Because we talk about this on our yearly shows, and I even think I do it at the 6 month mark, dropping that bottom 10%. It's only dropping 10%. It's not dropping 100%. You don't isolate yourself from everybody and everything around you, but you do need to get rid of that which does not serve you. And you do need to pour into more that which does serve you. And there are things that could serve you, that would serve you if you tighten up those boundaries. But you got to protect your energy and you got to protect your direction. Number two, own what's yours, not what belongs to everyone else. Carry your load, not everybody else's. And again, that goes right back into that boundary thing. And shit, when it just comes down to it, you have to build anyway. That's number three. You have to keep building. You have to keep going. Even if the wind's against you, even if people aren't clapping, coming from someone who loves admiration and accolades, even if you don't feel ready. I think that's the one thing that I did quite well in 2025 is I did a whole bunch of things that I wasn't ready to do. I did a whole bunch of things that weren't strategically planned out as well as they could have been. But you know what? I did them anyway. Because if you wait till you're excited to start to build something, if you wait till you're ready to start to build something, you'll never build anything. That is one thing, man, as the words fall out of my mouth. I think that's the biggest thing to take away from 2025 is the fact that I made decisions when I didn't know exactly what the outcome was going to be 100%. And shit, I think that's a good quality to have. So, for people quietly walking into 2026, potentially cautiously walking into 2026, not everyone had a great year. And you can be in part of that everyone. I'm in part of that everyone. I did not have a great year. But in no way, shape, or form does that mean you failed. Does that mean you failed? In no way, shape, or form does that mean I failed. Not everyone's excited for the next one. That doesn't mean you're doomed. It means you got lessons to carry with you. Some years, oh, this hurts. Some years aren't about breakthroughs. They're about becoming the kind of person who can withstand one. You don't need to roar into 2026. You just need to walk in with your eyes open, your feet grounded, and a backbone that says, I'll handle what comes. Because if you're still here, if you're still with me, if you have the ability to listen to this, to watch this, to take this in any way, shape, or form, congrats. You've won. You've won every single battle you've faced in 2025, 24, 23, 22, 21. You are, for all intents and purposes, undefeated. You're still here. Congratulations. Good job. You took everything that life has had to throw at you, and you're still standing here to show your scars. And that's fucking awesome. Good for you. And I mean that sincerely. I'm really proud of you for whatever 2025 threw at you. The fact that you're still here to make it happen in 2026. You're still here to build something. And it doesn't have to be built fast. It doesn't have to be built perfect. But you're still here to do it. You're still here to lay a brick and lay another brick and lay another brick. And do me a favor. Again, he says into the mirror, don't use those bricks to build walls. Use it to build something great in 2026, regardless of whatever 2025 did to you. Because like I said, there's not a whole lot of people that I'm seeing on my feed that are championing 2025. So let's go into 2026. Strong, optimistic, as hard as it might be, and ready for whatever it throws at us. Because so far, we're undefeated. I hope this year gave you something to be proud of. Like I said, I came to the realization as the words fell out of my mouth here before you. I did a lot of things I wasn't ready for, and I did a lot of things that I didn't actually know how they would turn out, but I did them anyway. Yay me! Let's see what 2026 has in store. I'm fucking stoked. And that might be me trying to fake it till I make it. Who knows? We'll find out in 2026. You guys have a great rest of your year. You guys have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. And I'll catch you on the next episode of DFW Grit. We'll see y'all later.